Hey everyone, my name is Audrey with Audrey Raw Design and welcome to my channel. Today I'm pretty thrilled to take you on a houseplants tour. Growing up, it's not like my parents were avid gardeners or anything, but I remember when we finally bought a house, my mom bought some houseplants and it immediately made the house feel like a home. I remember she had a pothos plant, sometimes she would grow Korean chili peppers and lettuce. And although I didn't appreciate it back then, fast forward many years later to me as an adult, and I'm really appreciating that. I actually started with an outdoor garden in 2013 or so, maybe 2014. And it was a 4-foot by 4-foot raised garden bed. And I grew mostly strawberries, tomatoes, chili peppers, bell peppers, herbs, lettuce, spinach, arugula, etc. I tried a lot of different things and I just really started to enjoy growing things and being able to harvest the fruits of my labor, so to speak. And I always wanted to have plants inside too. I did buy a spider plant maybe in 2015 or 16 and then a jade plant not too long after. But I didn't have a lot of opportunities to buy more houseplants because I do have a cat and he is everywhere. And I didn't have shelves installed or bookshelves or anything like that. There just wasn't a lot of furniture that my cat couldn't also get up on. But then in 2020, when I decided to move my studio, my art studio from the basement up to this room that you're in right now, I knew I wanted to fill it with houseplants and then do the same to the rest of my house. This room is perfect for houseplants because it has a south-facing window. So it gets really great light all throughout the day. I started by buying a couple of plants that I personally really like the Monstera adansonii and the Hartley philodendron. And then I kind of ventured out to buy some more exotic plants and just tried my hand at those. Now I haven't been the perfect gardener. After 7-8 years, I'm still learning and I'm still making lots of mistakes. And I do get a little sad when a plant dies, but I'm learning quickly, how to care for them, how to provide the right environment, and how to really help them thrive. So in this houseplants tour, you're going to start off here in the studio. I have a number of plants in here. And then my bedroom. My bedroom's a lot smaller and only has one small east-facing window, so I don't have a lot of plants in there. But then in the living room, dining room, and kitchen, I have a lot more. Don't expect like hundreds of plants. I have maybe 30 plus, maybe close to 40. But each one is really special, and I hope to continue to increase my collection by propagating and thoughtfully bringing them into my home so that they have a place to live and thrive. So I hope you enjoy this houseplants tour. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Please subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this, and enjoy. So welcome to my studio, everyone. I'm going to give you a tour of all the houseplants in my home. So this little guy is a croton? I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. But yeah, they really like sun, and so I have this closest to this south-facing window. And I just love just how, the foliage look, just the varied colors on here and just the detail on it. The only bad thing about suspending plants like up here is that it gets really dusty. So I find myself wiping this plant quite often. So just something to keep in mind when you're thinking about hanging your plants. I have another croton in the other pot back there, but I don't know, it's not doing so well. So yeah. Okay, here on my bookshelf, I just have one little pilea plant. I could probably fit more plants on this shelf, but there's a lot of things going on here already, so I don't feel like I need to overload it with plants. Then I have this plant here. I'm not sure exactly what kind of pine tree or evergreen this is, but yeah, it's really cute and it's doing well. And even though Aslan can touch it and eat it, he doesn't seem to be affected by it. Next on this shelf, I have 3 or 4 plants, I think. This main big one is the Chinese evergreen. And this basket I bought I bought 2 of them for $10 from Facebook Marketplace, but they're actually 1 for $10 at IKEA. So yay for deals. This one over here is a Hope philodendron. So anytime you see a plant that has philodendron in its name, that means that it likes to climb. So that's why I have this vertical support right here. I don't know if you can see that. and it's kind of hanging out. I actually use that support for my tomatoes during the gardening season, during the outdoor gardening season, but I felt like it was appropriate here too. So like this big leaf might need a little bit more support, but for now, like, yeah, it's just so cool. I love its leaf shape too. So I also have a humidifier back there because a lot of houseplants are tropical, and so in order to imitate a tropical environment, you really need to increase the humidity in your house. So right now it's the winter season, so it's especially dry. So having a humidifier really helps keep your plants happy. Next, I have a heartleaf philodendron that I actually propagated, and yeah, it's doing pretty well. I'm excited. I'll show you the big heartleaf philodendron later. I have a number of air plants, and I got these cute little geometric holders. Onto this area of my studio. So I have some more air plants back here. This big one is the umbrella plant. I just love how the leaves are shaped and how they grow. It's a very unique looking plant. This one is the Dracaena limelight, I believe. Not the lemon lime. The lemon lime looks a little bit different, so I think it's the limelight. And I also bought that from Facebook Marketplace. It's doing pretty well. It has a couple of brown spots, but I think that's because when I was transporting it home, it was sitting in the sun for a long time, like, you know, in the car. So I think the sun kind of scorched it. Over here is a baby, or not baby, but mini fiddle leaf fig plant. Usually these plants are really huge and tall, but I bought the miniature version because I do have some space for large plants, but I didn't want so many large plants. And yeah, the small one is just perfect for this space. These little guys are the Monstera adansonii, and I just propagated these not too long ago. So I have 1, 2, 3 hanging out, and so hopefully we'll have roots in a couple of, maybe a week or so. So right now, obviously, there's nothing, but hopefully in another couple weeks. And then I can't have plants any lower on this shelf because my cat will get to it. So there's only plants on the top, but that's all right. Oh, this cloche is actually supposed to be housing one of these plants, but I'm not sure if I'm really going to use it or not. So that's why it's just lying there. Next, I have this Majesty palm plant, and I thought that this would be a really easy plant to, maintain because people said so. It's also non-toxic to cats or just pets in general, but I've been having trouble. This is actually my second Majesty palm plant. I have another one in the living room, and I don't know, maybe I just have bad luck with them. So I'm a little sad, but I'm trying to keep it alive. I hope I'm doing okay, but yeah, I find myself snipping off more leaves than I should be. So, man, I don't know. Okay, this shelf a lot of you are familiar with. So let's start with this one here. So I just have my Monstera adansonii. So this is the one that I propagated. Yeah, I want the large Monstera deliciosa variety too, but I really like this one, again, just because it's smaller, and having the holes like within the leaves is just kind of cool too. Then I have some more air plants. I have another humidifier just for these plants up here. This is a calathea. I forget which specific variety this is. Yeah, I just love all the plants in the Calathea family because it almost looks like the colors are like painted on. Like, it's just so pretty. Okay, I have another heartleaf philodendron that I propagated here, and then this is a big main plant that I propagated from. So yeah, I have a lot of vines that are coming out, and they're very easy to propagate. They are very easy to care for. So if you're looking for an easy plant to have in your house, then I think the heartleaf philodendron is a great option. Yeah. This plant was getting really, really leggy and viney, so that's why I propagated, but I don't know if you can tell, but I actually pinned down a couple of the stems so that it would look bushier. Next, this is a parlor palm plant. They're very easy to grow too. They were very popular like in the 60s and 70s. And then this is the money tree plant. That was also one of the first plants that I bought, and it's not dying, but I think one of the times I overwatered it, so it lost a lot of leaves. So it looks a little bare, and it's growing leggy because, it's trying to search for sunlight. So it looks a little awkward right now, but it's hanging in there. Yeah, so that's kind of all the plants that are in my studio. Sometimes I switch out the plants that are in the living room to the ones that are in here. So yeah. Okay, so this is my bedroom, and up here I have the ZZ plant, and here I have the snake plant. And these two are very easy to care for. They don't need too much sunlight. They both, thrive on neglect, and which is great because my bedroom has an east-facing window, and it actually doesn't get as much sunlight because it's obscured by like the neighbors, and it's a small window. So yeah, so I just have two easy to grow plants here, and that's it. All right, on to the living room. I have several plants up here on the mantle. Over there, I have just a variety of cacti. Next to that is the anthurium, and it's not blooming, sadly. I need to research ways on how to get it to bloom, but at least for the foliage, it's cute. And it's all right. I still have some winter decorations up here, obviously. This is a ponytail palm plant. This is really easy to grow as well. They're, just very low maintenance. Okay, this is a peperomia. I just love just the color on this leaf. I don't have a regular pot for it yet, but it's fine if it stays in the grower's pot for now. This plant is the Dracaena. Yeah, the Dracaena is really easy to care for too. It'll tell you exactly when it needs water. The leaves will kind of like curl up on the sides, and yeah, that's how you know. And then this is the other Calathea I was talking about. Yeah, just look at the leaves. They're just so pretty. Oh, this one's got a little hole. That's okay. But yeah, it just looks like they're, painted on. It's just so pretty. I know I still have my Christmas tree up. Don't judge me. I just don't have time. Okay, I have a couple more plants in this corner. This is next to my dining table. This spider plant is the oldest plant I own. I think it was one of the first that I ever bought. I think it's about 4 years old, maybe 5. I've actually even like split it and then gave a whole plant to a friend, and she's taking care of it really well. So what's cool about the spider plant is that they basically self-propagate. And so over here, they release these pups, like these baby spider plants. And so this is like attached to the mother plant. And then, this will eventually grow roots of its own. And then you can plant this and then get a whole new plant. All right, this is a calancho. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but it's actually a flowering succulent, but I just snipped off all of its flowers just because it was starting to droop and dry out. But there's like a tiny petal right there, you can see. But it's got, this one has red, yellow, and orange bloom, so it's very, very pretty. Okay, down here I have a jade plant, and this is probably one of my oldest plants too. I probably got it around the same time as the spider plant. And I recently just propagated this. So you can see like where I cut the plant, like right there, it's starting to grow new leaves. And even like right there, it's growing some new leaves too. So yeah, they're very easy to care for because it's a succulent. They don't need that much water. And yeah, when it starts growing a little bit too leggy and you want it to look bushier, just snip it off. And then right where you cut it off, it will grow new leaves. And then this is the other Majesty plant I was talking about that I had first bought that is, I don't know, it's just barely hanging on. It makes me sad every time I look at it. But I don't know, it's still alive, so I don't want to just throw it away, But that's that. All right, on this shelf I have some more plants. They're mostly succulents. So first I have the aloe plant over here. This is one of the 3 jade plants that I propagated. I'm not sure if it's really growing roots yet, but where I did snip it off from the mother plant, it did callus over. So I'm hoping that, it'll grow roots soon, but I'm not sure yet. This is a cacti that my sister-in-law gave me. It's so small and so cute. Here's another succulent. Yeah, this one's doing really well. The key to succulents is like just basically don't water it like ever. This is the burro's tail or donkey's tail. They just grow so slowly, so it feels like you're not, nothing's happening, but it is growing. Like if you look at the ends here, right, there's like tiny little leaves coming out. Okay, down here are 2 more of the jade plants that I propagated. Hopefully they'll show some roots soon. It's been like almost a month. No, maybe like 3 weeks. And then this is a zebra plant. I have a Skillshare class on how to paint this. It's so cute. I just love how, you know, the white details, they're just so interesting. Yeah. Really cute. And then you can see that there are new leaves kind of coming out in the center there. This aloe leaf unfortunately just snapped off, and so it's calloused over. I think you can stick it in the ground and see if it grows roots, but I'm not sure yet. But it's just sitting there for now. And that's pretty much it. The other stuff down here are like, you know, extra pots, or obviously the cacti succulent potting mix, and just like, you know, general supplies. Well, I hope you enjoyed this houseplants tour, and I hope it's maybe inspired you to buy your first houseplant. Like I said, there are some great beginner plants like the heartleaf philodendron and the snake plant or the ZZ plant. And if you want to try something a little bit fancier and more unique looking, like the calatheas or the Monstera adansonii. And if you're an artist watching this video, maybe it's inspired you to create something. I'd love to hear from you, so please subscribe to this channel, like this video, and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about my plants so that I can create more helpful videos for you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.